Hello, welcome to Monte Carlo to Marlow.
Good morning, Alison. Welcome to the podcast.
Morning. We did.
A few morning issues with technical issues, but we got there.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful sunny morning. We're both in Bucks. Are you a Bucks or a Berks, actually?
Berkshire. Warfield.
We're down the road and it's beautiful here today. So we're the Marlow side of Monte Carlo to Marlow.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself as what you would call yourself as a practitioner.
Okay. Can I start with something else first?
Yeah, please do.
So before our call, I shuffled the Life Loves You card deck, which is a Louise Hay card deck. And I just shuffled it saying, what do Krista and I need to know, and anyone else listening to this episode of the podcast, what do they need to know right now? And I got the most beautiful card and I love it. And it is Life Loves You. And I just love that. I love these cards because they're a great tool. And I always do it before a coaching call or anything with a client or anyone like us. And on the back it says, life loves us all. Look at yourself in a mirror, breathe in and say, life loves me. As you breathe out, smile and repeat that 10 times. And it's just a lovely reminder that life does love us. It's a choice that we think that. We can either think life is against us and the world's against us, or we can say life loves us and or life loves me.
Really brilliant reminder.
Yeah, really lovely. And the other card I pulled was, I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. And I pulled that from the Louise Hay Power Thought cards. It is my mind that creates my experiences. I am unlimited in my own ability to create the good in my life. So
nice.
They're just really lovely. They're really lovely cards. So to go back to your point of or your question. So to go back to your question, Krista, about what I do. So I'm a life coach and I also host workshops. I'm trained in the philosophy of Louise Hay and her teachings and have immersed myself in that for many years. So I share her philosophy plus my own nuggets of wisdom that I've acquired along the way, or the realizations that I've had along the way. So sometimes, tongue in cheek, I sort of say I teach people how to think. Because we're not taught that at school.
Differently. You're teaching people how to think differently. I think one of the Louise Hay, you'll know this much better than me, is, how do we stop the negative thoughts coming in and ruining our day and, ruining everything we do?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly it. It's helping people choose a better feeling thought. So whatever their thoughts are creating in their life, because, sometimes it's actually quite a concept to try and get your head around, that you can choose your thoughts. They don't just happen. But when you become aware of your thoughts, then you can choose to think something different. So I guess in a nutshell, and a really long way of saying it, is I help people bring awareness to their thoughts. And then we look at, well, does that really serve me well in my life? Does that make me feel good? And if it doesn't, then we create better feeling thoughts.
I usually ask people, what is it that you wanted to do and how did you end up with what you're doing now? And a lot of people come to that question with, I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I felt stuck. And actually, when we spoke pre the podcast, you didn't know what you wanted to do, but you weren't unhappy in a job and you had a lot of opportunities and you went for them, but it wasn't anything like, you can explain, you kind of bounced around in lots of different places, but you had a little bit of a eureka moment with an injury that, you can tell us about. It's so interesting how people come to where they feel like they are most themselves, but you weren't really searching for this thing. It kind of almost found you.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. It's funny, isn't it? You go to school and then you start out in the workplace and you sort of get on this, like a treadmill, really, isn't it? You just go one step at a time. And I didn't know what I wanted to do at school. And when the opportunity came to go out to work, of course, I did that. And so I don't think you really have the time to think about what you want to do or we don't.
15 and 16, how are you supposed to know what you want to do?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, you're right. My work took me around the world. I traveled a lot, saw some fab places. I earned some good money, worked with great people. So there was nothing wrong with it. And actually, I was listening to a Joe Dispenza audio this morning, and it sort of coincided with that sort of time of life as well that I was in, where you've been doing what you've been doing for so long, and then you sort of think, oh, what is life all about? Why am I here? Those sort of big questions. And I think it sort of probably coincided with that a little bit. And yes, like you say, I had a neck injury when my son was 4 years old, and it was a big wake up call. Like, unless you've got your health and your well-being, if you haven't got that, then it's the most important thing,
Of
right?
course.
And yeah, it really took me out for a little while, and that gave me time to think about what I actually wanted to do, and make some really tough decisions about ending corporate career, and with actually nowhere to go to, no idea what I was going to do. But then as that door closed, and it was really emotional leaving that, you're cutting off your income, you haven't got your health, so you can't go out and get another job straight away. And you've got a young family, and you think, okay, but as that door closed, another one just opened, and it was within 3 months. So I had to closed the door on my corporate career end of July, but by mid-September, I discovered what I was going to do next, and that's the work I'm now doing.
How did you discover it? Because it's so different from what you were doing before. What was that kind of chink of light that was coming in that made you turn that way and start looking at this sort of well-being world?
Yeah, okay. I had followed Louise Hay and her work all through my corporate career. I'd listened to the CDs. I hadn't read so many books. I wasn't a big reader then. I'm a huge reader now. It really resonated with me, and I got it. I got it mentally. I got it logically. Yep, you can choose your thoughts and what you think about, you create.
What's the first book that you read of Louise's?
It was probably You Can Heal Your Life. It was
Yeah.
You Can Heal Your Life. And that's the book that the training program that I went on to do is based on that book. So I wasn't feeling great. I was still recovering from this neck injury, but Hay House, which is Louise Hay's publishing company, were hosting an event in London called the I Can Do It Summit. My friend and I went along, and it still wasn't great. I was still very sensitive about my neck. There was Fern Cotton was launching her book. Robert Holden was there, who worked with Louise Hay. David Hamilton, who's now a well-known author. And so there was all these speakers outside, like the auditorium. There's these tables, and they sell books and affirmation cards and journals, all that lovely stuff. So I went out there, and there was actually a company that was selling or positioning the training to become a Heal Your Life workshop leader, so that you could actually share Louise Hay's philosophy in a workshop environment with others. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know you could do this. I didn't even know this existed. And I've just gone goosebumpy, actually, just thinking of that, because it really was one of those moments where I was like, oh my goodness. So the first step then was to go along to a 2-day workshop, which was created by Louise Hay and Patricia Crane, who was like Louise Hay's support assistant. And now Patricia heads up the global training program for the Heal Your Life program and community. And so I went along to do that. And when I was doing that 2-day course in London, which was delivered by a wonderful friend now and coach called Jane Matthews, I can do this. I'd come from 20 years in corporate. I wasn't afraid of speaking in front of people. I can do this for the rest of my life. I wouldn't need to retire from this, because this is like my dream work. So that was when that other door opened. And then I went on to do the coach training.
I would say she was such a pioneer, wasn't she?
Yeah.
What year was that book out? Do you know? Do you remember?
Oh, I probably what year was it? I think it might have been 84.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it, really? And you think of the
Yeah,
way wellness experts that have come after, a lot of men actually, and
yeah.
there she was, a woman doing it pretty much out of the blue and not with any influence from others, just really was something she truly believed in.
Yeah, absolutely. And she didn't even set up Hay House until she was 60. And that, again, that's incredible. And she's a real inspiration to me, being 53 and on this path now. But it's like, so she started at 60. There's no need for it. And I know retirement age is going up now, isn't it? Um, but it's just, if you love the work you do, and it becomes part of your life, you're living it, and you're literally sharing that with others, you don't need to retire from it.
There's no age limit
There's no
on
age limit.
no, absolutely. So you went to the summit and you did the 2-day course. And then always, I think the way with somebody that wants to get into this kind of industry and profession is like, how do I monetize it? Because obviously you were quite lucky that you had a corporate career that maybe gave you some savings and a little bit of a safety net. But what were your thoughts? Did you think, oh, I just want to do these 2-day courses myself? Or did you think, okay, I'm going to put my own spin on this? What were your thoughts after you'd done that 2-day training?
So when you become qualified, you've basically got all the material to deliver a 2-day workshop, a 10-week workshop.
Yeah.
You could do a 1-day workshop, which is literally just the first day. Literally, as COVID was happening, we brought out so our trainers in India created with Patricia an online program called Heal Your Life Journey. So that was a 6-week program.
Yeah.
And I started off by doing mini workshops in my local community. And then COVID happened, so a lot of it went online. So it's once you'd done the program and you were trained and certified, you then could sell the program and deliver it yourself. And
Yeah.
you could also work with another Heal Your Life practitioner. So if you had quite a large group of people, you may want to have an assistant. So you would support each other in
Yeah.
that way as well. So it was really gentle, and gradual. And then it's about the marketing and getting
Yeah.
it out there. It's more about the marketing, really, and
Yeah, I was
getting.
going to say, because the marketing side of things, it so goes against the kind of like the workshop, isn't it? Because you've got to put so much effort into the marketing, and actually all you want to do is sort of be having people in front of you and talking to them about the workshop. So social media is one way, but did you find that people were really receptive to it in your local community? Was it a word of mouth thing? Did you find after you'd done a session, lots of people were then saying, oh, my friend did that and I loved it?
Yeah, so there was definitely a bit of that. And also, I still do use Eventbrite. So
Yeah.
people were finding, especially when I did free mini workshops online as well. So I would do those. So when people find you on Eventbrite, they may look for Louise Hay or free workshop or whatever, and they would discover it that way. So that was my early way of sharing the programs that I was running. And then, then like you say, it's social media. And you're so right. You actually just want to share the work. You just want to, you want to get it in front of people that are ready, that want it, that are looking for it. So that all of that marketing stuff beforehand is probably the hardest bit, because you just want to put it out there, let everyone know it's available, because it's a bit like when,
because you're
yeah,
one man band, aren't you? You've got to do your own PR, marketing, admin, accounts.
yeah, and it's the most enjoyable bit is the
Yeah.
delivery of the work.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
I want to give people a little bit of a taster of what it means to be doing a Louise Hay workshop and how this sort of positivity can really change your thoughts and your life. So I was going to ask you a few little sort of teasers so that people can come to you and maybe do a mini workshop or find you on event. Do you have morning and like you've pulled a card, which is lovely. It's having these rituals, isn't it? That you
Yeah.
look forward to that can if you wake up feeling a bit grumpy, can absolutely just, turn the day on. What kind of daily rituals do you have that you feel like you've learned from the Louise Hay method?
So I start when I was starting, because I said in the beginning, I got it all logically. Once I did the training, it took it to a whole new level. You then embody it and you live it. It's not just psychologically and logically known. Then I was waking up in the morning, and this took me 3 days to get my head around. But when you're just waking up in the morning, and you just know you're waking up. I mean, I used to wake up and one of the things I used to say was, oh my God, how am I going to get through today? That was like a real, that was real. And
was that because you were starting this new business and you?
No, it was before I discovered this work.
Oh, before. Okay.
Yeah. So when I learned these tools and techniques, I would just notice when I was waking up, and I would immediately just start it off with, I set the intention to create a great day. And it's still my favorite one. And I said it 3 mornings in a row, and then it became automatic. Now, that's just my experience. That may not be the case for everybody, but I did it 3 times, 3 consecutive mornings. And then I was waking up thinking, I set the intention to create a great day. It became a habit after such a short amount of time. And then, because it's really important how you start your day and how you end your day. And I think that's a really nice entrance into this work. It's not too much. It doesn't overwhelm you. It's not too much to do. And then at night, one of Louise Hay's affirmations was, I sleep in peace and wake in joy.
That's really nice.
So they were the 2 that I just started off with. Then I've got one in my bathroom, which has been there for a long time, actually. And it is, I trust the process of life to take care of me. So I was very much a worrier. And I'm not saying I never worry now, but I was very much a worrier. And just having that affirmation on my bathroom mirror saying, I trust the process of life to take care of me, it just was that reassurance to tune in and just trust that all is well, which is, again, another Louise Hay saying and affirmation, all is well. So that's how it really started. But yes, the cards, if I'm feeling a bit flat or unmotivated, or I need to know something, I'll shuffle the cards and I'll say, what do I need to know right now? Fan them out, blindly pick a card, and I'll be like, thank you, like I really needed that. So yeah, there are a few of my little rituals.
Would you say that getting a pack of the cards, even if you haven't trained, is quite a nice entry level into getting some positive affirmations to start your day with?
I think so. I think sometimes people need something to do and when I say something to do, something physical, like you can shuffle the cards and say, what do I need to know right now, and pick a card. And it's almost like something to do. It can be sometimes easier than going, oh, I need to think of an affirmation. And it's difficult to think of an affirmation.
And not scroll through Instagram and get distracted by another banana oat recipe.
Yes. Yeah, so
he's saved in my.
Are you speaking from experience?
I never make. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is that when you went to this summit, and you mentioned Joe Dispenza, that you were listening to one of his podcasts, or David Hamilton. What things did you listen to at that summit and continue to? There's so many wellness experts out there, as there, and motivational speakers. What do you love about Joe Dispenza and David Hamilton and people like that? Who would you recommend people would listen to as well?
I love Joe Dispenza. He recently, he says you have to, what does he say? I'm trying to get this right, do him some justice. But in order to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality.
Nothing changes.
Yeah. And that is really, I sit with that a lot. And, sometimes I can find myself procrastinating and things like that, my old habits, it helps that helps me remember, right, do something different. I brought awareness to the procrastination, do something different, take some action. And it's okay. It's safe for me to do that. So I love him for that. I also love Wayne Dyer. I
Yeah.
think Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay were like my spiritual parents. And they actually passed away on the same day, but
Wow.
different years.
Gosh.
And the same day as Princess Diana. So
Wow.
the three of them passed away on the 30th of August, but just different years. And so even that can make me go goosebumpy about they're wonderful human beings, right? And they passed away at that time. So actually recommendations for other people, I would say you can get the Empower You app. Empower You, and it's a heart logo, and that is Hay House. That's their app, which has got like, I don't know, 50,000 hours of audio on it. So all Louise Hay's books, all Joe Dispenza's, all Wayne Dyer's, everybody, David Hamilton, you name it, whoever publishes their books with Hay House, they're all on there. Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life book was incredible. The Power Is Within, which is the subsequent book to that, is again really powerful. So reading the books, listening to the audios, again helps you get it logically. Right, I get this concept. When you then work with somebody, you then embody it. And that's what I find with a lot of my clients is you can get it logically, but until you start working with it and living it, you don't always see the change that you want to see.
No, it's a bit like journaling or saying things out loud, isn't it? Thinking it is one thing, but actually putting it out there makes it feel a lot more real. I know friends now that journal every day. And God, I used to do a diary when I was a teenager. I really hope they're burnt somewhere. But I am a real write down. We were both saying that we're paper diary people.
Here
And
we are.
it's people like, you don't have a calendar in your phone. Well, I don't want a calendar in my phone. I want to write it down.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even go back to it. But because I've written it down, I've remembered it.
Yeah. 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 Same. And when I think, oh, what have I got in my diary? 9 times out of 10, I will know what's on a certain day, and even what color pen I wrote it in, and then sometimes I won't remember that, but it's the visual of it. Whereas everything looks the same in your electronic diary.
Yeah, I want excuses to not be going on my phone,
Yeah.
really. Spend enough time as it is.
Yeah.
And the people that are coming to your workshops, are they looking for life coaching, or do you find that a lot of them are coming because they want to do what you're doing and go on and teach workshops themselves?
So the first workshop I delivered, the 2-day workshop, actually one of the participants went on to become a Heal Your Life teacher as well, which was amazing. Actually, and somebody else as well was sort of in the services business. So serving others. But the one I ran a workshop, a 2-day workshop, not this weekend just gone, the weekend before, and it was incredible. And everyone comes, I think, for different reasons. And I don't share loads about what we do in the workshop. And like me, when I went along to the first 2-day workshop that my friend Jane delivered, I had no idea what I would be doing in those 2 days, but I just trusted I needed to be there, and I wanted to be there. And it almost didn't matter what we were doing. I knew about the book, I knew about the work, and I wanted to be there. Three people that weren't familiar with Louise Hay's work that came to my 2-day workshop found that I was delivering a 2-day workshop. So it's really powerful whether you know of Louise Hay and her work and teachings or whether you haven't. People arrive independently as strangers, and over those 2 days become really close and good friends and share some really transformative moments together.
Personal environment, isn't it, that you do feel like you can open up in. I know that when I've done classes and events, people that have just done breath work together, that they might never have met, and then they're hugging each other at the because you've shared this amazing experience. And I think you find that you attract the right people. I always think that when you put on events or when you do anything like that. You think, oh God, you all loved it. And it just attracts. I do a community yoga summer solstice event. In fact, it will be doing it this Sunday. Keep looking at the weather. And afterwards, like, people arrive quite calm because I've been doing it a few years now. But it's such a lovely atmosphere because you've just got the right people there,
Yeah.
and you attract, hopefully you do attract the right people that are really receptive to it.
Yeah. And I always trust that the perfect group come together. I love that about it, that you're just trusting the perfect group come together. And that doesn't matter, numbers or age range or anything. Everyone, and I love, even retrospectively, I look back and I said to the group, the synchronicity of all our paths crossing on that weekend to spend those 2 days together was really special. And of course, we're all still connected now, and we have a WhatsApp group. Have just got that connection with each other,
Yeah,
which
and that
is
one weekend really can change somebody's life
yeah,
because maybe they were a bit lonely, and maybe they might have come along just to meet people that think the same as them, because
uh,
you do find it hard to make friendships as you get a bit older, and you do go off and think different things to your friends that you've known for 20 or 30 years. And sometimes these kind of workshops and environments are about connecting with new people, aren't they?
yeah, definitely. The fact that it's a shared experience, and that you're open and receptive to it, and you're literally all there to share those 2 days. It's really lovely. It's actually, it's the bit that I enjoy the most, is
Yeah.
holding space for those 2 days, and seeing what unfolds.
What would you say to people that are in a career or somewhere in their life that they feel a bit stuck and they want to make that transformation? What would you say would be the kind of, because sometimes you can't just leave a job and start something else, but what would you say would be a kind of a good path, the beginning of that path of trying to sort of change your thoughts and trying to think about a more positive way for your life to be heading into?
So I think if I knew what I knew now, and I was still in corporate, I would change the way I think about my situation, that I thought about my situation. It was difficult. It was different for me because I left through a neck injury, and everything all came to a sudden halt. I think you can change the way you think about your job, your boss, the people you work with, and to the extent where you can change your thoughts about that and your perception of that role, to the extent where you might actually start enjoying the role, and there not need to be a reason to leave
Yeah,
or
so
a
it's not
need to
necessarily
leave.
about leaving, it's about changing the way you think about it. And if you're in something that isn't very fulfilling, then look outside of that to find things that fulfill you. So your
Yeah.
job, the focus, I guess, as well.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that sometimes that can be a challenge for people because they're working such long hours, and they feel like once they've finished work, they might have family, and there's no time left for them. But I think if I was to go back into corporate as an employee, I would be so different in how I perceived the environment, what was being asked of me, how I would respond to things. And I had a great corporate career, but for a long time I was saying, I'm not going to do this forever. So I was always sort of looking for the next thing that maybe might not be in corporate. Maybe that was just subconsciously what I was believing. But I think if you're in a situation with work, and I'm looking to go back into the workplace, but to deliver the workshops that I do now on the business side, if you're in a job where you don't particularly like it, explore how you can think differently about it. And then you can also look at, what do you need personally? What does your heart need? And what do you need to fulfill your life? Because we all say this, but does it really land? We're only here once in this lifetime, and it's really important to make the most of every day, my opinion. And you have experiences in life that really bring that home to you, but it's about making the most of every single day. And even if you just set the intention to create a great day every morning you wake up, that might be enough to carry you through and continue to having those positive thoughts throughout the day.
That's such a nice message to end on, Alison. It's
Oh,
really great to speak to you. Thanks so much for sharing. And I hope that, well, I'll obviously link to everything that you're doing in the podcast and on YouTube so people can find you.
thank
Come
you.
to online work. Do you still do online or are you just in?
Yeah, I'm doing a 6-week online. I think it's September and October, the 6-week one. And then I'm going to do another 2-day, maybe September and January. So I need to get everything out there. So if people can't make one date, they could potentially
Do the
explore
others?
another date. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks
But
so much.
thank you, Krista. It's been so lovely chatting to you.
Yeah, it's really nice to reconnect again.
Yeah.
From you doing a workshop at My In Your Element in Marlow, the first one, like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.